The state of Wigan Athletic upsets me. Growing up, I had such a soft spot for Wigan. Players like Hugo Rodallega and Aruna Kone, they were staples of my teenage years. But now, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, Wigan Athletic are a serious chance of getting relegated to League 2. That ain't good enough. Today, I'm taking control here. Mr. Rebuild is taking control at Wigan Athletic, and we are going to save them from League 2 relegation and restore the great name of Wigan Athletic, get them back to the Premier League, and ultimately win them a Champions League title. So as we take over, this is the default starting 11 at Wigan Athletic, but I will be transitioning to the 4-4-1-1 formation. Let's get to work. But with a limited budget here at Wigan, I needed to be really strategic on who I brought to the club. And well, whilst on the hunt for a new striker, I stumbled upon this guy with a last name that I've already said in today's video, which made this a no-brainer. Our new striker, Richard Kone. Absolutely pumped to have this last name wearing the blue and white again. Richard Kone joining us from Wigan for £1 million. And if Kone is the first man into the club, we officially have our first one out. The right midfielder, Johnny Smith, on a trip to Racing de Ferrol. Scott Smith heading to Sarpsborg. I know Smith is a common last name, but I think Wigan might have the most Smiths in English football. Johnny Smith, Scott Smith, and Matthew Smith, who I'm currently converting to a centre midfielder. But this Wigan team is desperately crying out for a star left midfielder, which is where Nicholas Milanovic comes in to the equation. The Australian plays for my favourite club, the Western Sydney Wanderers. 67 overall, he joins us for £1.1 million. And to be fair, he's just about the only bright spot in a pretty bleak Western Sydney Wanderers team this season. And after just 2 weeks, we're able to make Smith a centre midfielder. Little loan action here in season 1, with Kamani Miller heading to Walsall for the year. But that is the opening transfer window done and dusted at Wigan Athletic. Smith's gone up to a 66 already. Okay, I'm glad I didn't end up going in for another centre midfielder, but I've kept things pretty light in this opening window. Just so many areas of the park where I have questions as to how players are going to grow. I will say though, I'm a little annoyed. I wanted to get Will Aimson out of the club. Not a single offer in for him. But let's see how our first season at Wigan starts off. I want to be as far away from the relegation zone as possible. Okay, this is perfect. To be fair, I think the Wigan team as it is way too strong to be in the relegation battle. So I'm pretty thrilled to see us sixth in League 1 right now. We hold the final promotion playoff spot. There's a bit of work if we want to get ourselves automatic, but I think that needs to be the goal. And I'm pretty happy with how the starting 11 is going, so I'm going to invest in a defender for the future. Dumb it, not getting any older, or rather younger. We're all getting older. But that is where the young American defender Noah Kai Banks joins us from Augsburg. And I'm immediately throwing him on the loan list. And there we go, we get it over the line. A loan move for Noah Kai Banks. Heading back to the United States, linking up with Philadelphia for 2 years. 5th place in League 1, and we were lucky to end up in the playoffs, man. 1 point ahead of 7th placed Wrexham. Sorry, 7th placed Wickham. Wrexham are going to get in there with us. So, Huddersfield and Birmingham go up automatically. It is going to be between us, Wrexham, Bolton, and Rotherham for the final spot in the championship. Scrolling down the table to the relegation zone where Wigan currently are in real life. It's Exeter, Northampton, Burton, and Mansfield Town going down. The FA Cup goes to Man City. We lost to Lincoln in the 3rd round. Liverpool win the Carabao Cup. Let's not talk about that. The BSM Trophy goes to Birmingham. And we miss out on a trip to Wembley via penalties. Bolton have taken us down on a penalty shootout, and Bolton have ultimately got promoted to the championship. Look, let's be real. The goal was to not get relegated this year, but still, that hurts. Big moves by our 2 summer signings. Richard Kone and Nicholas Milanovic are both going to have insane starts to life at Wigan Athletic. And with another year in League 1, I'm really excited for what dynamic player potential can do to these 2 lads. In terms of growth though, we have had some really nice upgrades across the board. Banks only going up +1, but the guys staying at the squad have actually done a lot better. Going to be saying goodbye to a few players though. Harry McHugh, I'm going to let his contract expire. Luke Chambers and Calvin Ramsey both heading back to Liverpool. Honestly tempted to try bringing one of them, if not both of them, back permanently next season. And then Andy Lonergan and Callum McManaman are both going to be retired retiring. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is a rather impressive season 1 with Wigan Athletic in the books. So we're pulling the trigger. I'm going to bring Luke Chambers back to the club. I think I'm only going to bring him back though. Calvin Ramsey, less overall than Steven Sessegnon. I think it makes sense to just go for Chambers. So we're going to bring him across from Liverpool. Very excited to have him permanently at the club now. And we get him for a fairly respectable price of £1.2 million. Ultimately, I do think I will upgrade Steven Sessegnon down the line, but the former Fulham man is definitely more than good enough for right now. There's other areas we have to prioritize. Finally got rid of Will Aimson though. I don't know why we didn't get any offers for him last year and then get one the first week into season 2, but I'm not mad about it. He heads to Spezia for 450k. And for me, I want us getting promoted to the championship. I want us to be trying to push to win the league title this year. So I want to make a big name signing in the defense. So we're going to sell Jason Kerr for £770,000 and secure the services of the German defender Finn Jeltsch. He signs from FC Nuremberg for 2.3 mil. Not too glamorous of a signing, but I'm going to sign James Berry as a backup left midfielder from Chesterfield. So this is the team we enter battle with heading into season number 2. I mean, it looks very similar because Luke Chambers was here last year, but I'm excited to have him permanently as a Wigan? Got that movie on my mind. I guess I'm wearing the same colors, but a Wigan man. We better be top of the top come January 1st. We sit 3rd in the league. I don't want to have to try going through the playoffs again, man. 6 points behind Derby County. And Dion Rankin, despite playing so many games, wants out of the club because apparently he wants more. He's been one of our better players right now. All right, I guess we'll have to pull the trigger. Look, I'm open to offers, but I will not be sending him to the top of the league, Bristol City. Not a chance. Instead, we're going to send him off to Spain. It's not the direction I expected to go, but Dion Rankin heads to Levante for 1.8 mil. But we have successfully signed his replacement, and it's not even a replacement, it is an upgrade. As we have signed Omari Forson here, bringing him back to English football. 2 years younger, 1 overall higher. I think long-term, this is going to be the right move. But will it be enough short-term to get us up to the championship? Come on, fellas. This was tougher than it needed to be, but we are getting promoted with Wigan Athletic. We are heading up to the championship alongside Bristol City, who walked the league. Rotherham, Peterborough, Charlton and Barnsley fight it out for the final spot, and relegated are Crawley, MK Dons, Wimbledon and Lincoln City. Man City win the FA Cup. We went on a run this year, trying to get a repeat of 2012, 2013 when Wigan went to the final, but we go out in the quarterfinals. Bournemouth win the Carabao Cup. 2nd round exit there for us. Bristol City do win the BSM trophy. And Peterborough will be joining us in the championship next year. You got to feel bad for Rotherham. Richard Kone. Oh my God. 42 goal contributions for the striker from the Ivory Coast. Already almost 75 overall. He's just hitting his stride as we get ready for life in the championship. Nicholas Milanovic, the Australian from the Wanderers, with 37 goal contributions. Even Thilo Asgard, who's kind of flying under the radar, has had an unbelievable season. Happy to see Noah Kai Banks getting some growth, though, finally at Philadelphia, up to a 65 now. But we will be saying goodbye to Paul Dummett as the Welshman is going to be retiring. We're going up, though. Bring on the championship. All right, fellas. It's time. I didn't get him last year, but it makes sense looking at everything right now. We're going to bring Ramsey back to Wigan on a permanent. 73 rated now. Calvin Ramsey, a Wigan player once again, 2.6 mil. I mean, that year back at Liverpool really did help him. And coming into last season, him and Sessegnon were the same overall. Night and day right now. Baba Adiko wanted out of the club. It makes sense. He was progressing half decently, but wasn't getting starting football. I can sympathize with him wanting to leave the club. So we've granted him that opportunity. He heads to Millwall for a mil. That's the perfect price tag. But this move right here might surprise some of you. Hobie Sibic is heading to Hull City for 1.4 mil. I almost signed Simon Garcia last year, but ultimately decided to sign Jeltsch. Now's the time to bring him to the Brick Community Stadium. The Colombian signing on from Athletic Nacional for 5 mil. And we're just about broke after that. And this sale here, I mean, it takes us all above the poverty line, but not by much. Jack Riley heading to Adana Demirspor for £200,000. The goal this year has to be surviving relegation, though. This season really could go any other way. We've got players like Kone, Milanovic, Tickle, who are all ready to be pushing for Premier League football. But then others youngsters like in the midfield with Smith, even Weir, even Forson, who we just signed. Some of these guys need to have big seasons. And I'm hoping we are well above that relegation red line come January 1. And I'm also hoping you guys are enjoying this video. If you're enjoying this Wigan rebuild, make sure you scorpion kick that subscribe button down below. Appreciate it, lads. I can live with this, lads. We are 11th right now in the championship. We're on 40 points. What is the relegation zone at? Huddersfield on 22. We've got almost double them. That is a brilliant spot to be in. But on the flip side, we are only a few points. We're only one win away from getting ourselves into the playoffs. I think we're safe from relegation. Let's just go and see if we can get ourselves a shock double promotion. Now, we don't have the money nor really the capital to go out and sell a player to get an upgraded player in this window, but we do desperately need a backup striker. So I've turned to free agency and I have brought in a rebuild Hall of Famer. If you guys remember the name Charlie Kelman, then you are a JarradHD channel OG. The Hall of Famer joining us on a free transfer. Charlie Kelman in our Harrogate Town rebuild, I believe it was, from what, FC 20? It's good to see the American. We sneak into the playoffs on goal differential. That's the Kone effect. I mean, we have 89 goals for. That's more than Southampton, who automatically go up. So we finish with a 19 goal differential better than Sunderland. We sneak into the playoffs. Let's make a wave. Sunderland and Leeds go up, and the relegation zone down to League One are going to be Peterborough, Huddersfield, and Portsmouth. Liverpool win the FA Cup. We lost for the second straight year to Man United. Wolverhampton win the Carabao Cup. Second round exit there for us. But we have taken down Brentford in the playoff semi-final. We are heading to Wembley Stadium, where we're versing West Brom. Can Wigan Athletic get back-to-back promotions? Can we get ourselves into the Premier League? Yes, we do! Oh, that is huge. Sneaking in on goal differential, and we're going to go all the way. A famous moment in Wigan history. We're back in the Prem. Season 4 is going to be unbelievable. And we head in with some unbelievable talents. Milanovic has already surpassed his potential. 28 goals and 15 assists. If he isn't the best player in the championship, I don't know who is. Kone gets himself to a 79 as well, 27 and 3. And a solid year for Jensen Weir, 15 and 5. Asgard, 15 and 12. We are in an awesome position heading into the big dance. There's one man that won't be joining us in at the Premier League though, and that is going to be Kai Payne. Look, I won't lie. We're facing an uphill battle if we want to stay up in the Premier League. Our signings are going to have to be bloody brilliant. And that is the category I would place this transfer into. Our first signing in Wigan's new era in the Premier League. It is going to be for the Italian Cher and from Toulouse. Signing number 2 in the Premier League is going to be at the left back role. The German from Coventry City, Nathaniel Brown, signing on. Oh my god, we could cash in on Richard Kone right now, but there is not a chance. He is arguably the most important player if we're going to survive relegation. But with Brown coming in, I don't want to fully give up on Chambers at the moment. I'm going to send him off on loan. 71 overall at the moment. He's going to spend a year at Mallorca and hopefully come back much stronger. And we have made probably our final addition to the starting 11 here. It's not a glamour signing, but it is another case of just trying to get our overall up as high as possible. The American Jack McGlynn joining us from Brentford. I don't know what to expect out of this season. We've got Kone and Milanovic hitting the 80 marker. It's a very balanced side, but the Premier League is not a balanced league. This team, my only objective is to survive relegation with Wigan Athletic. I do not want to get back down to the championship. I do not want the slide downwards to continue. I want us to keep climbing. Yep, we're in the relegation fight. We are tied on goals, tied on points, but the draws are killing us at the moment, lads. We're on 14 points with 8 draws. Meanwhile, the team below us, Everton, just 2 of them. We sort that out, and hopefully we'll be all right. But this is like, there are 7 teams currently in the relegation, I would say. Wolves, maybe even. There is an opportunity for escape. Things with Amari Forson have just not been going the way I hoped from both a performance perspective and a growth perspective. So it's probably the right call for us to just part ways with him. 5.3 mil. Let's get somebody that can help us survive. Enter Million Manoff, the Dutchman joining us from Stoke City here. 77 rated. A little older, not too much growth on his side, but he's ready to go now. And the $1 million man has helped us stay up. 13th in the Premier League, finally started to convert those draws into wins, and we end up 8 points clear of the relegation zone where Forest, Burnley, and Southampton go down. I'm over the moon with this though. I thought it was going to come down to the final day. We kept it pretty comfortable for the final month. Winning the league here though is going to be Man City. Man United win the FA Cup. Let's see if we went out to them again. Nope, we went out to Leicester in the 4th round. Arsenal win the Carabao. We lost to Ipswich in the 2nd round. Time for us to take a look at European football for the first time though. Atletico Madrid win the Champions League. Mika Richards' favourite club, Brest, wins. Stade Brestois win the Europa League. Stade Brest. And Celtic win the Conference League. I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anybody, but Richard Cornet is our top goal scorer this season. Of course, the numbers a lot more subdued across the board because of the competition, but still for him to get 23 goals in all competitions is unbelievable. Real solid first year here for Andor, and Milanovic continuing to grow, which I did not expect. Also, Jack McGlynn, who I kind of signed as somebody that I thought would help us a little bit, but not be this impactful, has proven to be incredibly impactful. Overall, though, I am just pumped to survive relegation. Onwards and upwards with Wigan Athletic. There is this one position I want to make an improvement on, but a few players that I want to sell. One starting 11 player to sell, and a few lower rated middle-aged almost players now to clean out. Kamani Miller falls under this, 390k to sell him. But the position, ladies and gentlemen, where I want a big upgrade is the right midfield role. Million Manhoff helped us survive in the Premier League, and for that, I'll be eternally grateful. But rebuilds are cutthroat, my friends. We're selling him for a decent profit to FC Nantes, which will allow us to break our club record transfer fee at the right midfield role. An absolutely massive one. Minter is going to be joining us from Brighton and Hove Albion. The right midfielder signing on for 33.7 mil. And with a little bit of money we have left over, we are going to sign Matthew Cox as a backup goalkeeper. Our team needs to stay far away from the relegation battle this year. This team is too good, especially our offense is too damn good to be in another relegation battle. I want to use the second half of the season momentum and bolster ourselves up. I mean, it would make sense for it. Our squad is young. Our squad is growing. Now we just need to hope that our squad is performing. This is what I'm talking about. 1st of January, 6th in the Premier League. Keep it going, lads. Keep it going. And I feel no need to reinvent the Reinvent the wheel. Caleb Taylor joining us from West Brom as a backup defender. Oh, I don't know if this is going to be enough to get us into European football. We have finished 7th in the Premier League, which I'm still pumped about. Maybe that's going to be the Conference League. Maybe. Man City win the Premier League title. Relegation zone. Brentford, Everton, and the Blades go down. Leicester win the FA Cup. I feel like our best run was when we were in League One? It's a 3rd round exit to Stockport this year. Brighton win the Carabao Cup. 2nd round exit there to Brighton. Real Madrid win the Champions League. AS Monaco the Europa. And Aston Villa the Conference League. I'm hopeful that we're in that competition next year. Richard Cornet. Oh, we're going to get some big money offers for him. Cornet, 86 overall, 23 goals and 3 assists. Would have to be one of the best strikers in the world by this point. What are his stats at? Yeah, I mean, look at that. 99 attacking position, 88 finishing. I want to get that finishing up to a 99. Milanovic, the growth, starting to slow up a little bit for him. Financially, he's at 35.5 mil, so maybe in the next 2 years or so, year or two, we consider cashing in. Well, I've got some bad news to start the season with. 7th was not enough to get Wigan Athletic European football. I thought it might have been at the very least Conference League, but that has not panned out. So as far as I'm concerned, here in Season 6, my only objective is to qualify for European football, whether that's the Champions League, the Europa League, or the Conference League. We need the financial boost and we need the development. We've got £34 million in our budget. We're going to have to be very, very strategic. This isn't going to be the type of season where I make 1 million signings. I mean, I could get a lot of money if I wanted to cash in on Richard Cornet, but £106 million, whilst it's tempting from PSG, it ain't happening. Chris Zay is somebody I want to sell though. He heads to the Saudi League. But for me, the position I want us making a splash in is the right back position, which is where Juan Luis Sanchez comes into the equation, the Spaniard joining us at Wigan. He signs on for £29 million from Wolfsburg, 83 overall. I'm actually surprised this went through. I've accepted about 11 offers for this guy, but finally one goes through, and that is to send Luke Robinson to Turkey. And with Sanchez joining us, I have decided to send Ramsey on loan. I feel like there's still some more growth we can get out of him. Send him off for a year, and then when he comes back, decide whether we keep him as a backup or cash in. But Ramsey heading south to Brighton for the year. Same type of deal with Noah Kai Banks. I'm sending him to Besiktas for the year. But we've done what we needed to heading into this season. The team is very, very balanced. A few guys kind of hitting that middle age range. Asgard going up to a 80 overall, which is nice. But like I said, getting European football is the key objective here in Season 6. Let's set ourselves up for it come the 1st of January. 1st of January, we sit here with 3rd position next to our name. So far, so good. Man City running away with the league right now, but we just need to focus on keeping ourselves in a Champions League spot. Oh my God, man. I decided to just keep the team the way it was for the second half of the season, and it has pushed us off a cliff with Wigan Athletic down to 9th in the Premier League with 55 points. That is a monumental failure. Crystal Palace kick on almost won the damn Premier League. Down to 9th is so brutal though. Relegation zone is Bournemouth, Burnley, Southampton. But we do win the FA Cup. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. We are going to have Europa League football with Wigan Athletic next year, taking down Fulham in the final, Villa in the semi, so Arsenal in the quarters. So we've had a decent run here, but we have won the FA Cup with Wigan. That is a huge relief. Arsenal win the Carabao Cup. We went out in the quarterfinals there. Borussia Dortmund win the Champions League. Marseille the Europa League. I'm very excited to be in that next year. And Leverkusen the Conference League. Cornet up to an 88 overall here. 23 goals, 0 assists. Minter, what a year for him. McGlynn a solid 1. Milanovic up to an 88, but 28 years, 85 rather, 28 years of age. Going to depend on our budget next year. But I might have to make some big player departures and might have to cash in on Milanovic. But we're heading to the Europa League. Let's see what our budget's looking like. Our budget, as we load into this season, £40 million. But I have a plan which I think is going to lead to us winning a Champions League title in the next 3 seasons. So this is what our starting 11 looks like right now coming into season number 7. We've got some absolute superstars and we've got some positions where we're lacking. But I want this entire starting 11 around the 83 overall marker. That means we need an improvement at attacking midfield, goalkeeper, and left back. With £40 million, I'm also adding Nicholas Milanovic onto the transfer list, a market value of £56 million. I'm going to sell him and all of those other players in the positions we need. That means I want to get 4 players for 83 overall. We'll take a slight downgrade for a younger player at left midfielder and then get ourselves some upgrades and younger players at attacking midfield, left back, and goalkeeper. It may be tough to pull off, but I want to see if we can make season 7 the season where everything changed. Step 1, sell the players. The great Nicholas Milanovic is out of here, lads. I did not expect him to have this big of an impact when I originally signed him from the mighty Western Sydney Wanderers, but Nicholas Milanovic, I thank you so much, my man. We have sold him to Crystal Palace for £72 million. Sam Tickles heading to Newcastle United. Nathaniel Brown to Aston Villa for 17.5. And finally, Thilo Asgard heads to West Ham United for £34.5 million. And not that he was among those 4, but I've also decided to sell Steven Sessegnon. Trying to get as much money as humanly possible. He heads to Paris FC. So, with preseason money still to come, we have £166 million to spend. We need 4 players as close to the 83 overall marker as possible with this money. First man in is an Englishman at left midfield. Mikey Moore is going to be joining us from Borussia Dortmund, 83 overall. We have spent £38.9 million to get him in. Signing number 2, attacking midfielder. It is only right we replace a Norwegian attacking midfielder with another Norwegian attacking midfielder. Signing Sverre Holseth Naipan from RB Leipzig. Signing number 3 at the left back role, Valentin Barco. And finally, in between the sticks, the Moroccan wonder kid goalkeeper Abdallah Said. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation 83 is a go. I am so curious to see how we go in the Europa League this year. This is going to be the ultimate test. There's one thing I know though. I want us playing Champions League football next year. I don't care if we get it by getting in the top 4 or by winning the Europa League. I just want to see the blue screen this time next year. And the dream stays alive, lads. We are heading to the Champions League next year. Operation 83 is already giving us great results. We finished with 65 points. Man City win the league with 81. We were close to getting higher up in those league rankings. Relegation zone, a lot of the big clubs mid-table, but Leeds, Sunderland, and Brentford go down comfortably. We unfortunately lost the Community Shield at the start of the year to City, and we couldn't go back-to-back in the FA Cup either. Chelsea win the Carabao Cup, and Arsenal are going to win the Champions League. We have got ourselves in an awesome position, though, to double qualify for the Champions League. Can we win ourselves the Europa League undefeated in the league phase, which is unbelievable? So we skip the playoffs into the round of 16 and we go out. Are you kidding me? We go out to Hoffenheim in the round of 16 of the Europa League after being undefeated and first in league phase play. Oh, that is brutal, man. And it's going to be Lyon winning the Europa League. Chelsea win the Conference League. Richard Kone with a first-class ticket to the Rebuild Hall of Fame at the moment, 90 overall. Aruna Kone is standing there and just applauding. An awesome first year as well for Mikey Moore, who gets himself 33 goal contributions here. Minter with another solid year. Naipen with a decent year here. The growth around is very, very solid though, fellas. Said already up to an 86 overall, 15 clean sheets. We're going to be in a terrific position to get a Champions League win in our first attempt next year. But Tom Watson will not be joining us next year for the Champions League campaign, letting his contract expire. I'm really happy with our starting 11, so for me, this season is all about focusing on our reserves, because to be fair, our bench and reserves are absolutely abysmal. We've got that glorious Champions League money. I want to spend it wisely. First man in is the American Diego Luna, left midfield backup from Bayern Munich. Backup centre back joining us in Charlie Hughes. Oscar Wilhelmsen is joining us as a backup striker. Another American in Paxton Aronson signing as some backup attacking midfield coverage. And finally, someone that could honestly transition into a starter down the line, Michael Golding, the Englishman, signs. So we just get stronger and stronger. The lads keep growing. The reserves pick up. I'm really hopeful for what we can do this year. Let's go see who we're versing in the Champions League. Nope, we're not in the Champions League. That's a piss take. I know some other English teams won European football, but I thought fourth place automatically qualified us for the Champions League. Instead, because of the Europa League going elsewhere to Brighton, we go down to the Europa League for the second straight year. I'm actually pissed about that. I wanted to have a crack at the Champions League this year. And if our expectations were that high for the Champions League, then I expect us to win the Europa League. We know we can do it. We went undefeated in the group stage last year. We just crapped the bed in the knockout rounds. You are joking. 2 points away from the top 4. Oh, this is such a tough rebuild, man. I want to be competing for a Premier League title. We were 9 points away. Not too many years is the league winner getting 69 points. That is a huge opportunity missed. And it looks like we're going to get probably Conference League now for next season. Chelsea in 12th, Burnley, Everton, Ipswich go down. Tottenham win the FA Cup. Blackburn win the Carabao Cup. What is going on in this save? Real Madrid win the Champions League. We finish 5th in league phase play. It's a regression from last year, but we are still automatically through to the round of 16. I'm nervous though, lads. I do not want to go out and drop the ball in the round of 16, which we do not. We take down Atalanta 5-3 on aggregate. Quarterfinals, we take down Young Boys 8-2. Okay, the dream of Champions League football is alive. Semi-finals, we absolutely destroy Strasbourg 6-0. So it is an all-English Europa League final. Wigan Athletic versus Manchester United, and we've won it. Oh my God, we've won it. Thank the Lord. All right, we're playing Champions League football next year. We have won the Europa League with Wigan Athletic, and I think we might have just stuffed up Manchester United as well. They're in the same position as us from last year, finishing 4th. I better not see their asses in the Champions League. And it is Marseille winning the Conference League. Richard Kone, 91 overall, 27-4. Might find himself nominated for a Ballon d'Or next year. Mikey Moore, though, has had a great year, up to an 86, 24-7. Minter is the latest player to hit the 90s. This team is getting primed. Look at Luna, the super sub of dreams. I am going to be letting a few players' contracts expire. I tried to get rid of Adams earlier in the season, couldn't do it. Asamoah, Tyrese Francois, former Fulham player, Australian and friend of the channel. I'm letting him walk, and Joe Adams letting him walk. But we are finally Champions League bound in Season 9. Let's make it count. This guy might have the coolest name I've seen in a while. He is going to be our new backup right midfielder, potential striker. He's a regen, and he could honestly be a superstar of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Justice Hogan. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I'm also going to sign a left back here, Runner Norheim from Leicester. This team continues to get stronger and stronger season by season. The base of this team is unbelievable. I will say, big year coming up for McGlynn and Endur, both in their late 20s. They might have hit their ceilings. 85 overall right now. If we do not win a Champions League title this year, I'm likely going to spend big money next year on getting a new center midfielder in. But I'm hopeful that's not the case. I'm trying to win it this year. But we are finally, we haven't been led astray. We are in the Champions League, starting our campaign off in September against Copenhagen, then into a matchup with Union Berlin, not a terrible start. Bayer Leverkusen in October, Trabzonspor, and Atletico Madrid. It's starting to get a little tougher. December, we will have Stade Rennais, and we finish off in January with Monaco and AC Milan. Overall, though, I've definitely had tougher league phases, and I'm hopeful that we can get ourselves into the round of 16 automatically. 1st of January, we are finally, it is such a nice feeling to find ourselves in a title race at the halfway point. We have dropped off in the past. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case this year. But our first hurrah in the Champions League, our first endeavor stays alive, 7th, meaning we automatically move on into the round of 16. Now we wait for the playoffs to see who we're going to be facing. Ladies and gentlemen, the verdict is in. Inter Milan. That is not easy. That is not the benefit that we'd hoped from getting automatically into the round of 16. Inter Milan, one of the top teams in Europe, one of the best teams in career mode from a developmental and potential perspective. We're going to be up against it. If we can get past them, though, that's going to fill me with so much confidence. First leg away in Italy, at the San Siro, and it is a 2-2 draw. A lot of yellow cards going around as well. 3 yellow cards. If we get away without somebody getting suspended, then we've performed a miracle. Yep, Minter's suspended. God damn it, man. I was wrong. That suspension was for the Premier League, so Justice Hogan stays on the bench. Minter is into the starting 11. We are at the Brick Community Stadium. Can we get a win here at the Brick and move on to the quarterfinals? Come on, Wigan. Come on, Wigan. Come on, Wigan! Barco is going to get us the goal. I am feeling a lot more confident now. And with that, the quarterfinal draw is in. I was hoping for Union Berlin, but we have got Liverpool in an all-English affair. On the road at Anfield for the first leg. I just want to take an even scoreline back to the Brick. How are we going to go? We're going to take a lead back. We are going to take a lead back. Nijpen gets the goal that gives us the lead. It would be nice if Vitor Roque didn't get that goal back, but we take a 1-goal advantage back to Wigan, which is better than I expected. Can we polish it off here, lads? 3-2 up. This to get us into a European semi-final, a Final Four. Against Liverpool, it is 3-1. We are the real deal. We beat Liverpool 6-3. In the Champions League quarterfinals. Get in there. Operation 83 is still well and truly alive. Well, it was never going to be a desirable semi-final opponent, but it is another all-English affair. We have Manchester City. Here goes nothing, fellas. On the road once again. Just get something good to take back to Wigan. City are a different gravy this year. And it is a 1-1 draw. I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. But it all comes down to this, lads. A spot in a Champions League final on the line here in season number 9, 2033. Wigan Athletic, Man City win. Oh my God. Man City are going to win. Man City in the 85th minute break our hearts. We took the lead in the 7th minute via Mikey Moore. Haaland and Benjamin Sesko are going to break our hearts. and we go out in the Champions League semi-final second leg. Oh, that hurts the soul. And Man City break our hearts for the second time this month. They beat us by 2 points to win the Premier League title. Oh man, so close to having an all-time season. At least we know we get another bite at the cherry next year. Chelsea mid-table once again. Leeds, Southampton, Brentford go down. Aston Villa beat Coventry to win the FA Cup. They also win the Carabao Cup. We unfortunately, man, this season's been brutal. We lose the Super Cup to Real Madrid on penalties. AC Milan are going to win the Champions League. Ajax win the Eric Ten Hag derby. And Lazio win the Conference League. My God, man. Our offense is unbelievable. Minter gets 26 and 6. Mikey Moore. I'm so glad I kind of phased out Milanovic and upgraded. Mikey Moore, 36 goal contributions. Kone staying at a 91, 29 years of age. But I have to keep the faith with him. He's too good to be moving on from. Push has come to shove here, lads. I told you, with McGlynn, if this season we didn't win the Champions League, I would have to have upgraded, and we didn't win the Champions League. So I'm doing just that. I'm about to put my entire transfer budget into securing the services of one of the world's best midfielders. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Warren Zaire-Emery. We needed a world-class midfielder, and we've picked him up from a club that has delivered us nothing but hurt last season. 89 rated Warren Zaire-Emery, £93 million, a new club record transfer fee. And oh my God, does it look glorious to have him. But when it comes to the Champions League, we want to go all the way. We were so unlucky not to win the damn thing last year. We start off in probably the toughest way you could start off. Bayern Munich into Barcelona. Oh my, October we go to Juventus. Then November is Borussia Mönchengladbach into Freiburg, so a German adventure. December is Helsinki. January, AZ Alkmaar and Red Bull Leipzig. This is not an easy league phase. We need a strong start, man. Front loading the whole campaign. Those first 3 games are brutal. I was hoping one of our guys would be nominated for the Ballon d'Or though, but it is still Mbappe, Vinicius, Haaland, and Yamal into the mix now. I wanted to see Minter or somebody like that, or a Kone. Not to be. So far, not so good in a season where I wanted us to win a Premier League title though. Currently 8th in the Premier League. Granted, we're only 7 points off top position, but I wanted us to be holding top spot on the 1st of January. Oh, we've missed out on automatic spots into the round of 16 on goal differential. Oh, this has been brutal, man. This has been a brutal start to the year, which means we have a matchup with RB Leipzig, the team that we versed in our final league phase game. How did that one go? We lost 3-1 to them. That is not a good omen. Leipzig it is, though. Here goes nothing. A trip to Germany for the first leg here. McGlynn back into the starting 11, has grown high enough to reclaim the starting spot. Our team looks unbelievable though. How are we going to go against Leipzig? On the road, it is a 1-0 win to take back to England. Job's not done. Finish it and get ourselves back to the round of 16. Come on, Wigan. Come on, Wigan. Come on, Wigan. We're going to win this one 2-1. 3-1 on aggregate. But now we're back into the round of 16. We've been here before, and we're versing Real Betis. They finished pretty high up, so I'm curious to see what they've got in the bag. Full strength starting 11 on the park. A bit of a change as we have the home leg first here. Let's see how it pans out. It is a 2-1 win. Mikey Moore is going to give us the lead to take to Spain. Come on, fellas. I just want smooth sailing for this one. We're against Real Betis in Spain, 2-1 up, and we go through 3-1, no suspensions, no injuries. They have Elise, which is interesting, but we are back to the quarterfinals comfortably. A trip to Italy on the horizon. We've already had successful adventures there in the past. Now we take on Juventus. The more opportunities we have to keep a full-strength starting 11 on the park, the better. At home, against Juve. Come on, Wigan. Come on, Wigan. It's Juan Lu of all players giving us the lead. I think he's going to be suspended, though. I did notice he got a yellow card in the Betis game, so he might be out for this second leg. Yep, confirmed. He got us the lead, but he's also sacrificed himself for the return leg. So that opens the door for Calvin Ramsey to come in for probably our biggest game of the season. We just need to keep a clean sheet. No goals conceded, and we go to the semi-finals. We add a goal to it. We are heading back to the semi-finals for the second straight year. I can't remember if I saw Man City still alive in the competition. I hope they're not. I hope they're dead and buried. Yep, nowhere to be seen. It's going to be either PSG, Barcelona, or Arsenal. Although PSG and Barcelona still have their second legs to come. And there it is. That's the answer. PSG in the Champions League semi-finals. Here we go, fellas. Sanchez back into the starting 11. I'm going to be truly depressed if we go out in the semi-finals for a second straight year. Lay the foundations at the brick. It's a brick of a scoreline. Everybody shooting bricks. Garcia with a yellow card. We're going to have to go to Paris now. No surprise that a goalkeeper gets man of the match in that one. We're away here after a scoreless draw in the first leg at the Brick Community Stadium. Traveling to the City of Love. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous as to how I'm feeling in this one. Just get it done, get to a final. We get there in extra time. Talk about a super sub. Oh my God. We get it done in extra time. We are heading to a Champions League final, finally, with Wigan. And it looks like it's going to be an all-English affair. Arsenal 4-0 over Barca. And there it is, the 2034 Champions League final confirmed. Taking a look around the grounds, PSV win the Europa League. Borussia Dortmund win the Conference League. We have had one of the best second halves of the season in rebuild history. And we end up winning a Premier League title. And not only do we win it by 10 points. Given where we came from, that is unbloody believable. Premier League champions with Wigan Athletic. Relegation zone, Tottenham have a stinker of a season, surviving relegation by just 7 points. We do add another FA Cup trophy to our trophy cabinet, meaning if we win the Champions League, we will win the treble. Nah, forget about the treble. We're going for the quad. 3-1 in the Carabao Cup final over Fulham. We are going for the quad with Wigan Athletic. What a ridiculous season and what a ridiculous rebuild it has been so far. And I fully intend on making it end today. Kone, a Hall of Famer, man. We have proven that we are the best team in England. Now we need to prove that we are the best team in Europe. Come on, Wigan. One thing I have realized though, McGlynn has been suspended for this Champions League final. And Durr's going to come in here for the final. That hurts the soul, man. And it's an all-English final at Old Trafford. You couldn't write this any better. Oh, do not let him get something early here. I'm just trying to close it down. Falls right to them. Big tackle. Good moves. Good ball. Get in front of that. Kone gets lucky with the bounce. Kone hits it. Kone is going to give us the lead 8 minutes into the Champions League final. What a goal to get past one of the world's best defenders. Do not let him find a way back into this one. Big save there from Said. Get that away. They win the header. How has he held on to that? Bloody Superman. Arsenal have been unstoppable since we took the lead. That was just shit defense on my behalf. Just clear that. Leonardo. No, they send us the wrong way, thankfully putting it wide. Nothing silly, fellas, just passing it around. If the opportunity presents itself, it will, but if not, I don't mind wasting the clock right now. And that is exactly what we're going to do. A scrappy second half. Arsenal were breathing down our necks the entire game. But one of the most difficult rebuilds we have done in FC 25 has officially come to a conclusion. Wigan Athletic are going to be European champions after 10 years. And nobody deserves to lift this Champions League title more than Richard Kone. Our first signing in this rebuild was an absolute superstar. Wigan Athletic are on top of European football. Lads, if you enjoyed today's rebuild, make sure you click here to subscribe and click here to check out another video.